Finally, we probably, to run down, we're now going to actually move over to our product analyst, Oren, who's going to tell us how you can trim up for summer. Oren.
Thank you, Tane. I'm joined today by Will, who's going to show us a great new product that will help you stay in shape for the summer. Will.
Hi, yes, Oren. Today I've got the Geelong Waist Trimmer. Of course, it's nearly November. It's coming up to that time of year.
It's almost summer, isn't it?
It is almost summer. I don't like it. I like the beach, and I like the slimness that comes with the summer. But
how do you maintain this slimness through winter?
I've overindulged. You know, I'm a pretty big guy. Pretty big lad, and I sometimes get a bit self-conscious. You know.
Don't we all?
But Geelong has the answer to that today.
Good people at Geelong.
Great people at Geelong. Basically, they've invented a waist trimmer. Now, this 100% rubber waist trimmer fits just around the waist, the torso, thus extending the body and giving the illusion, if you like, that you're a bit slimmer. It's as easy as that.
It can't be that easy.
Too easy.
Prove to me that it is that easy.
Get in here.
Oh.
Okay. It just applies like that.
Oh. Above and below the shirt?
Yeah, well...
Because it's a quite nice belt in the event of over shirt.
Yeah, well, obviously it's meant to be underneath the shirt, yes. Thus, keeping it all intact. But you can wear it above. It's a great fashion accessory for the summer as well.
I got to say, it's comfortable, it's flexible, it's not limiting at all. I'm impressed, Will.
Easy to get on and off.
How much does this wonderful product cost?
Well, today on morning tea, it usually retails. You're lucky to find these $70, $80. But today on morning tea, you're looking at 2 easy payments of $24.99.
It's $49.98.
And if you pay by credit card and save those 2 extra cents, you can get a free pet care pet grooming glove.
From the people at Pet Care, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
They're the people that gave us the parrot brush. We all remember that one.
Yeah, they are the sister company to Geelong. And if you pay by credit card today, you'll receive a pet grooming glove which removes hair and dirt easily and quickly and gentle for your pet.
Now, our suppliers of these pet grooming gloves are limited, so the number is 0800 749 8627.
Look good for the summer.
Remember, 2 easy payments of $24.99.
And receive both the Geelong and the pet grooming glove from your friends at Geelong and Pet Care.
Parcel and post is, of course, free of charge from morning tea. Thank you, Tana. Emma?
Thanks a lot, Oren. It's definitely something I'll be looking into.
Yeah, thank you, Oren. Next up, we're going to have Vijay Devidas, a media studies lecturer in studio to talk about his new paper. But first we've got a quick ad break, so we'll be right back.
My name is Jack Crawford. I am an optometrist and I'm a partner in the practice of Fairmaid, Chance and Crawford.
Hello, can I help?
We like people to leave here happy with the thought that they can visit us again at any time. So whether it's for an eye examination, whether it's for new glasses, whether it's for contact lenses, whether it's for a repair or even advice, we like to think they'll be happy to come back again at the drop of a hat.
You just can't afford to miss the liquidation sale down at Modern Miss Boutique Clothing with 90% off all stock, including dresses, hats, gloves, and selected menswear, and 24 months interest-free on all repayments. We've got something for the whole family, so why not come down to Modern Miss to pick yourself up a real bargain? The global financial crisis has really hit us hard, so this weekend only we're practically giving our stock away. You'll need to get in quick because stocks are strictly limited. Normal lending criteria applies. See in-store for details.
Hello and welcome back to Morning Tea. We've got a media studies lecturer, Vijay Devidas, with us in studio to talk about the racialisation of terrorism in the media surrounding the events on the 15th of October 2007. Hello Vijay, how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on board. And thanks for taking up a very, I think, important issue.
Yeah, I think it's an important issue too. So can you give us a brief rundown of the events on the 15th of October?
Well, my own sort of relationship to the event is highly mediated, I presume, like everyone else. So mainly through media coverage of the event was my main source of consumption. And then I also looked at sort of prison notebooks, if you want to call them, from Valerie Moss, who was also arrested.
Was that the one that was Too Loud to Hear Me Scream or something? It was maybe that wasn't.
I can't remember the title now, but yes, maybe it is.
Yeah.
But I got read through Valerie Moss's personal account of her arrest as well, and other kinds of media outlets.
Yeah. So you suggest in your paper that the media created a, quote, racialised moral terror, moral panic around.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can you explain this
well,
racialised moral panic?
This sort of racialisation of moral panic in the media that we saw on that day in Aotearoa is not an aberration. It is a global condition produced post 9/11, I think, with the intensification of how we actually understand.
So you think this is a global trend?
That's right.
Of racial discrimination, pretty much in the media.
That's right. And it has a long history. Said talks about it, for instance, from the 18th century. And when the Oklahoma City bombing happened, they thought it was the terrorists from Arab countries that had done it, but then it turned out to be a white Christian church-going boy.
Yes. Well, that's. Okay, and so you also mentioned the concept of media necropower. Can you explain this as well?
This idea of necropower actually comes from Goldie Osuri's work. She talks about necropower, which is a concept she borrows from Achille Mbembe, an African philosopher, who uses it to talk about the sovereign right to kill, to determine who lives and who dies.
Okay,
so what happened with this idea of media necropower is about media practices that marginalize, exclude, put to death particular kinds of subjects, cultural groups, communities, or people of political alliances, of different political alliances.
So you believe that Tūhoe has had this media necropower in action against it within New Zealand context?
On that day, the media coverage across international and national media was through the figure and face of Tamaiti. Of course, there were variations to this. They did interview, the Herald, I think, interviewed Tamaiti on the 18th, and was very humanized his figure, I guess. He's a 50-year-old man with diabetes. So these other kinds of practices do come out, but you would notice that by and large, the media takes on the discourse of terror on that day, took on the discourse of terror on that day, intensified it through the figure of Tamaiti and the idea of indigenous sovereignty.
I think that's very true, because when I watched it, I basically thought that Tamaiti was a terrorist, and it was only until I, read this paper and did a little bit of internet searching that I realised that he was actually arrested under an arms charge, not a terrorism charge, and that's pretty scary, really,
That's right.
isn't it?
The firearms charge was put in place because the Terrorism Act was insufficient. So then they amended the Terrorism Act again in November, so that they could try to charge him under that, but that has fallen through, I guess.
So at the moment, he's pending arrest, really?
They are waiting for trial in October as we speak, which is almost 1 year since it happened. I must thank the program for having me on board, actually, talk about the show, about the issue as well.
Okay, cool. Just briefly, just to wrap up, you think that New Zealand media is particularly racialised, or?
Yes, in the sense, if we think of race in a much more expansive way, race as both cultural and ethnic difference, and race as a kind of interruption. So this is how we can understand why they arrested the political activists, the anarchists, and the non-Maori, people of different political alliances, because of a kind of racism that Foucault actually talks about, that we now need to think about race outside of cultural and ethnic boundaries, as interruptions.
Excellent. Thank you very much for talking about your paper. It was great to hear from you. I think this is a really important issue, and awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay. My pleasure.